Hello, everybody. Today is July 18th, 2024. We're going to talk about 11 different names. Some of them are large caps, some of them are not. Anyways, this is not financial advice. This is just for educational purposes. If you see or find any utility on these videos, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Well, let's start with this. Amazon on the daily chart. Let's start with this. I've seen a lot of people on social media, on X for the most part, talking about the fact that we just hit a bottom right here on this level, which is interesting because I did put this level on quite a while ago. So we're here at 180, 181. I think it's a little bit premature to say that we are hitting a bottom. I really don't understand that way of thinking when everything else is telling you that there might be a continuation on the way down. Now, maybe you can argue that you had basically a perfect rebound up here, and you also had good news, or you're coming with good news from Prime Day. It seems like it was one of the most successful, or if not the most successful Prime days for Amazon. That is great news. I mean, that if that is the case and we catch some momentum tomorrow, we might see a little bit of a reversal here towards resistance. I mean, why not? We might see that. But if that doesn't happen tomorrow, I think you definitely have to pay attention to this level right here, which is turning or is happening to be a little bit stubborn. And then you can make some decisions. But I think it's a little bit irresponsible to say this is a bottom, start buying Amazon. That is silly. Just wait a little bit. You know, today was an interesting day for Amazon because it started pretty nasty and it went down all the way down to this level, and then it kind of came back a little bit and got choppy to the end of the day. So if we go and see, and then after hours, it was basically a continuation of what we saw during the day. So nothing really didn't break this level, even though this is the 1 minute chart. So don't worry about levels on this chart, on this time frame. Anyways, just be careful. Again, make your own decisions, right? When it comes to trading or investing. But I just think that when some people get all excited and start making calls like, you know, time to deploy capital on this, I think it's just silly, and people shouldn't be listening to that. Just keep an eye on this area. If tomorrow you have a better day, that's good. Tomorrow is Friday also, so you are not going to have a lot of volume, so don't expect like a gigantic candle coming this way. But I think this level, at least for now, is very critical. 181.3, but just keep it at 181. And just if you want to trade Amazon, or if you want to enter, I personally wouldn't do anything tomorrow. You know, I want to see that the market giving me a little bit more of a story of what is happening now. The MACD and the TSI are definitely telling me that this is going to continue going down. But again, you have a very strong level right here. You have some good news, I guess. And then you have earnings also coming next week. So you might see a continuation to the downside. And then I have no idea what the projections are for Amazon, but you might actually have a good day, good earnings, and then you see a good move. But for now, my suggestion would be just wait. Don't do anything crazy. It's a Friday. If you're not even sure about putting any money, don't do it on a Friday. But anyways, that is what I have for Amazon. And now I'm going to move on to ANF. So this actually played out the way I was expecting it to play out. Now today you went red to green. That's a good thing, but still looks pretty weak on the MACD and the TSI. I don't have a lot of expectations. You couldn't go over the 35 SMA on this candle. you might actually be seeing the beginning of a retest to this area. So still keep an eye on this resistance level at 167. And after that, you might continue going down as I had on that arrow, or you might have a continuation here. Earnings are not coming anytime soon. Earnings are coming by the end of August. So you still have a lot of trading days to actually make a decision. Unfortunately, I didn't get into this name because when I actually started paying attention to this setup, it was somewhere here by the end of last month. So I wasn't sure if I wanted to get in or not. My best position would have been here because, again, I trade in combination of the chart with the MACD and the TSI and the RSI. So if all of them are aligning the way I like, then I take a position. But since I was already here and this was kind of curling, I wasn't very hard about, let's take this. What I actually thought was, and we were going to move all the way up here, considering how this was behaving on the MACD and the TSI, and then you have a triple bottom. Then at that point, then you have a better setup. But still, it did work out. I think I put some alerts on X somewhere in this area, and it did happen in a very nice way. I do think that that there's still more room to the downside. So I like this name. You have very low liquidity here. So I have a bearish bias per se, but keep an eye on a potential retest here. And if you get to that point, I might actually take a position if we see a retest, because it would be like a perfect setup at that point. It's retesting here and then it's coming down again. So that would be definitely something that I like. Now I have Celsius. So Celsius, I don't know what to tell you with Celsius. We were talking about Celsius here on this double bottom, and I was saying don't enter until you break 61 resistance level. Well, we didn't break it. We didn't break it twice, and then it had a rejection on this candle. Then we're down under support, which was 52.50, and now we're on our way to 48. I honestly not sure what is next after 48. We can consider this area 45, and then what? So for now, I'm not even considering going long or short. I hope at this point to see this name with a continuation towards 48 or 45 and see what happens on earnings. And then that might give you momentum on the way up. If they have good earnings, if they have bad earnings, then I don't know, you don't even have liquidity here. So if your earnings are bad, you're probably going into this gap right here, which is what, 39. And so anyways, this was an interesting setup all the way from here. I did call it up here on the double top. I actually got some puts, which I got out on this giant candle, but little that I knew, everything was going to collapse all the way down to basically 48. I'm just mentioning Celsius because earnings are coming soon. You have the support level right here that if it breaks, it's just going to continue going down towards earnings, and then we might see. I think is critical for Celsius if whatever information that we get out of earnings to understand what would be the next move. I like trading Celsius. I actually made decent money on this just this area right here. I day traded a couple of times within these candles right here, but I would like to see a little bit more of a nice formation somewhere. I cannot tell you anything right now, but somewhere, so I can actually go long. I mean, just like you see these moves that are as dramatic, I guess, right? You had earnings here, went up 20%. You have to see the opposite reaction at one point. So here you had it all the way up to almost 100, and then went down to 69, went up to almost 100, and now you're at 48. This is super volatile. I like trading these kind of names, but for now, I think it's getting boring and it's getting a little bit, it's slowing down, but we'll see what they come up with on earnings. So that's what I have for Celsius. So JMIA. On JMIA, I did buy, so two things. I was short on JMIA somewhere in this area, and then I got out on this big candle. I normally do that. And then I was bullish on this, but I wanted to see a better formation here. I wasn't completely sold on this. And then somewhere on this area, I was like, okay, I'm going in. And then I wake up the next day and this thing was already up like 20-something%. Too late for me already. Once I see these kind of things, just like I sell when I see big candles, I'm not going to buy on a big candle. But little that I knew, this thing was just going to keep going. The next day was 7%, then 8%, and then you had another 8%, and then 1%. And right on this area, on this 8%, on the top of this is what I mentioned last week or a few days back. I did get puts right at the end of the day, like 2 minutes before closing. Next day, this thing went up, then it continued going up. And my mistake was that I got this last week, but the expiration date on my calls was tomorrow. So now we're here and my puts are flat. So I wish I would have like put a little more thought into that position and go as far as September. So it gives you time to develop. And I like to trade like that. I like to give time to the stock to do whatever, especially if I am swinging. You have to let this thing move. So it didn't happen. Sorry, if you're hearing that, is my dog. My dog is howling downstairs. I have a Frenchie and he likes to he howls. Anyways, you have very low liquidity here. I think there's going to be a continuation. There's still opportunity, in my opinion, even for myself, to get into this name. I will get September puts. I'll make a decision tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow is Friday. If I get in tomorrow, will be by the end of the day, unless unless you go down like 10%, and in that case, I would feel like I would miss a train. And but I see a huge extension here, and you can see it if you go to the past on how the MACD behaves. This is as high as it's been, as far as I can tell on this, at least on this chart. Not as much, not so much on the TSI, but last time you were up here on the TSI, you also went down very nicely. So I think there still has more room to go short on JMIA. You have low liquidity here, and you have these indicators telling you a story. The histogram is also telling you something. So yeah, I might, it depends how slow tomorrow is. Hopefully there is less volume tomorrow. Look at the volume here too. And if that is the case, I might actually enter with some more puts. I like JMIA to the downside. I still like it to the downside. Now let's look for the other name that I had. I can even pronounce this name, but MBLY. So what I like about this, let me rephrase that. I'm neutral on this name. The only reason why I'm mentioning this name is because a lot of people are mentioning it because they think this name is gonna squeeze. I have no idea if it's gonna squeeze or not, but again, it's one of those situations in which I personally think is irresponsible for traders that I actually respect and that I think are more experienced than I think it's irresponsible for them to say, you know what, just like what I was saying on Amazon, this is a time, get in. These motherfuckers been saying that the same thing from all the way here. So you got a couple of nice candles, and then what happened? And then they said, well, we are retesting this trend line, and it kind of did, but then it died again. So I guess the thesis is because there were some news. This is an Israeli company, and they did some contracts with the Israeli military or something like that, whatever. And they also do some, I believe, I could be wrong. I don't do my research on stocks like that, but I think they do self-driving software or some sort of crap like that. Anyways, on this, I'm neutral. But considering that this company is getting contracts, you might get some very nice news on earnings. And if that is the case, you might actually see a nice reaction to the upside. But again, on the whole technical level, as far as what I see on the chart, I just can't believe that there is people actually saying that this is a great setup. It is not. Everything is flat. It is not. There is no volumes on the on what you're seeing. No volume on the candles. There is nothing. Like, look at these candles right here. It's not telling you much, you know. So I don't know. And some people pay subscriptions for this fucking information. Anyways, I still neutral. There might be some news on earnings. That's the only reason I'm mentioning this. But it would be a gamble. Nothing that I would be interested on seeing. Now, I would love to see this going down to support and then forming something that makes sense. But until then, this is dog shit. You know, we'll see on earnings. But if you actually follow other traders in X, I don't know. Again, this is why you have to do your own research or see other sources that might have different opinions. I happen to be one of them in this case, at least. Anyways, let's move on. Meta. So Meta is still going down. One of the things that I found interesting was, I think I mentioned Meta yesterday. No, yes, I didn't make a video yesterday, but the day before. And what I was saying was that you have this level right here on the 35 SMA, and then you have the support level. If you break that, shit is gonna hit the fan, and it did. Yesterday, it was down almost 6%. Now, I think today, let's take a look at the one-day chart. Look at this. So it started with a sell-off, and then actually came back up, and it ended up the day at 3%. That's pretty decent, considering that yesterday you were down almost 6%. I would still be cautious. A lot of people also were saying the same thing. We just bottomed. I don't know. The market in general, I think I want to give it some time. I want to wait until, well, I'm not trading next week because I'm gonna be out of town. I think I'm leaving on Tuesday or so. Anyways, but you have to give the market a little time, just to, so you actually see what is really happening. You know, you had a sell-off that is lasting so far a week or so. Well, that is not enough. You might see a move up, or we might, maybe we're entering on a I guess time frame on a rotation, or a time frame in which things are gonna get choppy. Just give it a little time. It doesn't cost you anything just to be patient. If you're not, it's gonna cost you money. So I don't know. I think there were great opportunities on Meta here, which I did call, not here, but I did call Meta right on this formation on the MACD and the TSI, and that's how I like to trade. I was right on these candles right here, and right when it was about to break resistance right here, and look at this move. That was fucking nice. And then I saw this kind of I guess that the fact that it was moving this fast. And then I was thinking, well, it has to come down. And there's a video that I made, I think a week ago or so, in which I was ranting about the fact that things are going straight up, and nobody's saying that, you know, hey, we need a little bit of a little cool down. Nobody was saying that. But anyways, it's happening now. We might stop on this area, 450, 452, maybe. Or maybe you just go up here to resistance and start testing this area. I would love to see the market getting a little bit choppy for the next week or so, and then you can actually see the opportunities. You know, I just don't want to anticipate any moves. I don't want to time it. I just want to be patient and give some time to these names to develop. Keep an eye on 452. That's your support level, and keep an eye on 482, 485. This range is where your eyes are. You have decent amount of volume right here, so it can get choppy. Tomorrow is also Friday, and as I mentioned before, Fridays have less volume, so I would not deploy anything for the following weeks on a Friday. I would wait until Monday and see what happens. But anyways, give it some time. MACD and TSI are not looking the best, but they can also curl really very rapidly. You had a 3% to the upside today, and these guys didn't even move. Like the TSI, which tells you the strength of the stock, didn't even move. You can see right here, right? It continues to go down. But anyways, not the best looking candle. Just be cautious, you know. That's all I gotta say. Next, this guy right here, Moderna. So with Moderna, so I'm taking notes. I still like the setup. I wish this and these two candles would have looked a little bit better. I'm not gonna lie. It's not breaking the 35 SMA. The MACD and the TSI are looking like meh. So it's not turning into the setup that I wanted this to be. But again, it's one of those things in which I want to give the market some time. If we actually bounce between the SMA, the 35 SMA, and the 200 EMA, that'll be fantastic. Because then you're going to see something going on down here. That's what I have for Moderna. I still like it. Still has momentum, but now I don't think I would make any decision until we get to this resistance level. It's that simple. Again, if these 2 or 3 candles were a little bit more aggressive, in other words, had more momentum, a little more volume, that would be a different story, because then you see like this is looking great. And pretty much all the stocks, not all of them, but all the stocks that I'm mentioning are having the same issue, right? Like the setups are failing, and now we have to wait. That's my only, I guess, recommendation or suggestion here. Just wait, you know, don't jump into things. You're going to lose money. I do believe that waiting is better. If this setup fails or any other setup fails, that's fine. That's why you have a long list, and then you create a focus list and so on. But anyways, if something fails, move on to the next fucking name. That's my suggestion. I still like Moderna, but I want to see a little bit more violence here. And I don't know if that's gonna come tomorrow, or so I'm just waiting. Pretty much, I guess what I'm gonna say in every single name here is wait. Okay, what's next? Let's see, Mr. Microsoft. So Microsoft, same thing, just keeps going down. Let's take a look at that one. I wasn't paying attention to Microsoft very much. Same thing. You had the same move as pretty much all the stocks. It finished red, minus 0.71. Nice bounce on the 35 SMA. MACD and TSI is still looking bearish. So again, just keep an eye on these levels right here. Keep an eye on this indicator. Keep an eye on support at 430. That's all you gotta do. And just wait. I like the fact that these names are coming down, because it gives you another opportunity, maybe down here at support or in some area, to actually come back in and then catch it again. You know, again, I was talking about Meta down here. I was talking about Microsoft down here. They were pretty much behaving the exact same way. Let's go back to Meta so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. I was talking Meta right here. Let's see on the date. May 6th. And here you are, May 6th. Almost the same thing by 1 day. So Microsoft had a reaction 1 day before Meta. That's it. And then you had this whole move. I was actually playing Microsoft left and right on this area right here, and then I left it alone here, then went down, and then I moved on into something else. But look at this beautiful move. Now you have this is going down, kind of like, let's pretend something like this, right? You're just coming down. Let these indicators get a formation that actually gives you confirmation to get in. I don't think that 35 SMA is enough. I think, again, you have to let this evolve a little bit and tell your story. That's the whole thing you gotta do. Just wait, because I'm starting to think, because of the divergence that we're seeing on these indicators, not only in Microsoft but in Meta and in so many other names, these are gonna give you a very nice setup, just like what you're seeing here, for the next leg up. It's just a matter of time. You just wanna allow the price action, and allow the chart to tell you a better story. This is not a position for me to go short, even though the indicators are telling me something. I should have taken it here, but I didn't. So I'm just gonna wait to go long once I see something going on these lower indicators right here, MACD and the TSI, which is gonna tell me what is the strength of the stock. Anyways, next I have, where are you? Netflix. Earnings were today. The first candle after earnings. By the way, I haven't seen the earnings report. I have no idea what happened, but people were freaking out because of, oh, I just moved the level. Sorry, I just moved the level. I have to fix it later. Because of this, right? Disaster, everybody crying. And then it went up. What I'm guessing is that guidance came in and things went back to being flat. Netflix down 0.7%, and it doesn't matter what happened after hours anyways. So let me fix this. I did move that level. Where is it? Did I fix it? Wow, I think I did. No, I didn't. Okay, so another name that actually ended up bouncing, not on this level, but on the 35 SMA. That's pretty nice. I think there's still a little bit more room for Netflix to continue going down. In my opinion, that would be optimal. Back when we were here, going back to, remember this date, May 6th. So Meta, Microsoft, and Netflix were behaving in a very similar way. And I did call the three of them. You can go back to my videos, or you can go back to on X, and you will see that. But anyways, Netflix was very nice because it had like this stair-looking pattern. So normally when you see this, you can see a continuation. It looked very nice. Again, I didn't take any positions on Netflix. I think I did one day trade or something because I was playing Microsoft. But anyways, my thesis somewhere around here was like, well, if this is number 3 and there's a continuation, just like you saw in 1 and 2, if there is a continuation, then you're going to hit 700, no problem. Well, it almost did. And it didn't work out. It got rejected. Now you're going down. You're on the 35 SMA. I believe there might be a continuation if you break this support level at 636. You continue going down, and then probably find some sort of support, maybe here where you're seeing these 3 candles right here, 3-4 candles. You might see something at 624. Not sure yet, but definitely you have a more solid support level at 605. That would be pretty bad. That's like $35, $38 to the downside, which I don't believe is going to happen. Anyways, that is what I have for Netflix. Again, just like all the other names that I mentioned, just be patient. Let the market and let the chart give you a better story. And sorry, my dog is making noises. I have a Frenchie, so he makes noises all the time. Anyways, let the chart and let the market tell you the story before you actually jump into it. So that's what I have for Netflix. Keep an eye on the 35 SMA. Keep an eye on this support level. And again, the MACD and the TSI are telling me, what they are telling me is that this might continue going down. Anyways, so now let's talk about Nike. I've been talking about Nike for a while, and I like this formation right here. There's something I don't like. I did something today, somewhere in this area, somewhere around here. I bought actually down here, I bought 1 call. I am down $11. This is a call that expires on September 20th, I believe, or sometime in September. Don't quote me on the exact date. But I did buy it because I was testing something on how you call it, Webull. But I'm actually very, what should I say? I do have some level of commitment on Nike. Now, shortly after, again, this actually broke, went down, blah, blah, blah. But then you can also see that this candle, there is still weakness here, right? The histogram, however, is telling me something different. And the MACD and the TSI are curling very nicely, but this sometimes what happens is, and then right before it's gonna get to the signal line, it curls against it and continue to go down. I'm not sure if that is gonna happen. It could continue going down, however. Considering that the RSI is telling me that this is still very oversold, the TSI is also kind of like curling a little bit. So I don't know. And again, I only have one call. I'm okay with it, and it's for September. My thesis on this, and I've been talking about this at least this week for a while, is that you have earnings coming out in September, end of September, and you have a lot of time. You have the Olympic Games coming. You have this liquidity gap right here. You only need a little bit more volume. It's not coming yet, which is worrisome. So what could happen here is that you go flat and then you very slowly move up, and then this turns into something super boring, into something horrible. So anyways, I do have a level of, I guess, enthusiasm for Nike. But again, don't fall in love with the stock. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Just let it go. Again, I bought just one call, because I was testing something in Webull, and I was like, well, it looks like it might continue going up, which it didn't. We'll see what we get tomorrow. The market is not, I think, is either, in my opinion, the market right now is just taking a breather, and there's also an allocation of funds moving from one sector to another, which is basically a rotation. So we might see, weakness in some areas. I think Nike has something going on for at least next month, and we'll see how that behaves. Again, I do have some expectations to at least get to this level, which is 79. And then from there, we can see, we will see what happens. But I like Nike. I still like it. And again, hopefully within the next, by Monday or Tuesday, this doesn't fail. And if that's the case, well, again, you just have to wait. But I like this chart. I still liking Nike. And then these bastards. Sorry about that. What else do I have? Oh, let's go to this guy. Where is it? Okay. Oracle. I like what I'm seeing on Oracle. Kind of like what we saw on ANF. Same thing, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, now down. So what I did today, let's go to the 1 minute chart. I didn't buy puts today. I did buy somewhere in this area right here. Around here, yeah, somewhere around here on this little top. I bought, I went short. I didn't buy puts, I bought stocks, but I went short. So we'll see how this works. Sometimes I feel more comfortable just buying shares or buying or selling, whatever. But we'll see. What is this? We'll see why, what we can do here. Definitely, it could be a little bit premature. What if this actually bounces back? But since I bought shares, I have more time and I can wait a little bit more. I can sit on them. I like the MACD and the TSI moving slowly towards a zero line. I like that the volume is telling me that there is still a continuation for sellers being in control. So I really like that as well. anyways, that's what I have on Oracle. I like this setup. I went short on it, and I think it's going to continue going down, at least towards this area. So we'll see what happens there. That's all I have for today. I'm not making a video tomorrow. I'm making a video over the weekend, and I think another video on Monday, and that'll be it until I come back. I'm taking my son on vacation. Anyways, so other than that, that's all I have. Have a wonderful day. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.